Is there anything I can do for you two? I'm afraid that Wangsheng funeral party...
We've come to see Zhongli. Could you please...
Unfortunately, Zhongli isn't here at the moment.
Doesn't the Northland Bank belong... Last time we saw Zhongli was before we went... Do you think he doesn't know about the attack on Liyue? Visiting the Fatui at a time like this, we had better go and make sure that everything is okay.
You call this cooperation between harbingers? Cooperation involves communication, you know.
Don't take it to heart, child. Besides, aren't you happy that you got to skip the formalities and bring chaos to the land? I'm sure you must have enjoyed that. Oh, it seems that some of your friends have arrived.
Hey, it's Zhongli and Child. And... you?
It's you two. I believe we've met once before. In the city of Bards, was it? I'm glad you still remember my name. Ah, right. I imagine that it must have been rather hard to forget watching helplessly as something—
No, don't let her get to you! You've yet to gather the powers of all 7 elements, and our last battle at the Golden House was almost more than you could handle. So it might be best to keep things peaceful this time, seeing that 2 of the Harbingers are here.
Well, if it isn't you two. This is our first time seeing each other since Liyue was nearly—
Paimon knew that we should never have trusted a Fatui Harbinger.
Oh, now don't say that. Sure, I may have misled you, but I never had anything against you personally. Besides, I thought we were getting along quite well together, didn't you? Except for that little tussle we had at the end. Nothing personal. We just have different views, that's all. Of course, you may very well hold this against me, but that's up to you. The real deceivers here are Signora and Zhongli. Curse them for leading me on. So actually, I think—
Stop wasting time, child. There'll be plenty of time to chat once I'm through here. You remember the agreement, Morax. Now, if you would be so kind. The Gnosis, please.
What in the world are you talking about?
The contract is fulfilled. That which thou seeketh is now bestowed unto thee. For my
How sanctimonious.
What? So you're the Lord of Chiao? No, wait! That's an exciting twist and all, but why give the Gnosis to the Fatui?
I do not give it for free. I give it as agreed upon in the contract. For it is a matter solely between the Tsaritsa and I.
Yeah, you don't think you went a little bit too far with that whole fake death thing? Everyone was preparing the ceremony for you, and splat! This big dragon falls out of the sky, and all of Liyue goes into an uproar. Talk about a disaster.
Gathering all the forces that had been bubbling behind the scenes, and then stirring them together in a pot that was bound to boil over. That's what he wanted to see, am I right?
Wait, what?
Perhaps it's best that I explain. As you know, I've dwelt upon this world for more than 6,000 years. It is now 3,700 years ago that I founded Liyue together with the Adepti. Even boulders that can withstand whirlpools will erode with the passing of time. I kept convincing myself that cracks had not begun to form, and that the end of my time had not yet come. Until one drizzly day, As I was strolling along the harbor, I heard a merchant tell one of his workers, "You've finished your duties. Go ahead and call it a day." I stood motionless among the crowds, asking myself, have I already finished my duties?
Oh, Zhongli.
But as I began to consider relinquishing my divine role, I soon discovered that many reasons still remained to not hastily depart. Was Liyue, the city I had dwelt in for so long, already prepared to enter its next age? I decided that a test was needed in order to reveal the answer. So I feigned my own death and gathered the cast of Child, the Adepti, and the Liyue Qixing to play their role. That's right, which is why I continued to safeguard the Gnosis until now.
So you mean that if the chaos ever reached the point of no return, you would simply appear and use your divine powers to bring Liyue back under control?
Of course, and it would have been all too easy for him too. Just as a child quickly matures after losing their parents, so has Liyue matured when faced with the death of its deity.
In the end, the resolution to all that has transpired was even more satisfactory than I could have hoped for. Take the Adepti, for instance. Owing to their years of seclusion, they were the least informed. Yet when faced with a crisis, they commendably showed the greatest amount of restraint possible. Not only did they manage to cooperate with the Qixing, but in the end, they even made efforts to understand the hearts of the people. Credit is also due to Signora, the emissary dispatched by the Cryo-Archon to fulfill our contract. At my request, she kept everything she knew in strict confidence. This despite the eavesdropping ears of her colleague, Child. This meant I could remain as Zhongli, even having the chance to fulfill the age-old traditions of Liyue in this mortal form. Thank you for joining me on this journey, traveler. All of these things turned out as I had planned. There is only one thing that I had not anticipated, and that was the conduct of the Liyue Qixing. I had expected them to do no more than the Adepti, to come to the defense of Liyue. But when all was said and done, they seized the opportunity to supplant Liyue's divine protectors, and used the subsequent power vacuum left by my death to quickly gain complete control of Liyue.
Huh? That doesn't sound good at all.
On the contrary, I think it is excellent. I had always feared that it was too soon for them to take over from me. And it was also that which I longed for the most. As such, this is the best parting gift anyone could have given this god of old.
Hey, what about me? Doesn't anyone feel the least bit of remorse for deceiving me? You've practically kept me in the dark.
I think that thanks would be more appropriate. You certainly played no small part in all of this, wreaking havoc and turning the city upside down. The Lord of Geo ought to thank you for your performance, if anything. If you hadn't created the pressure of a battle between mortals, Adepti, and a god, the lump of coal resting in the hands of the Geo-Archon, Liyue, would never have been able to become a dazzling diamond of a city.
Huh? Just whose side are you on, mocking me like that? Are you itching for a fight? Be that as it may, you've come out of this as the hero of Liyue. I, on the other hand, will be forever prescribed as a disturber of the peace, no?
Well then, with the Gnosis in my possession, I have no use for such idle chatter. We should return to Zapoljarny Palace and seek an audience with Her Majesty, the Tsaritsa. Come, child.
Fine. I'll meet you there later. I'm not sharing a boat with the likes of you.
Do as you wish.
Now then, is there anything else you wish to ask me?
Right! As Zhongli always told us, a good trade is a fair trade.
Realistically speaking, There is no...
Huh?
However, I am the god of contracts. For thousands of years, I have made countless contracts. My agreement with the Cryo-Archon will be the last of my contracts as the Geo-Archon. As for the bargaining chip that the Tsaritsa used to balance the scales, uncover that answer for yourself in your future journeys.
Today's the day of the rite of parting. Although the star of the ship was fake, we spent so much time trying to organize it, it would be a real shame not to go there now.
Well, so Rick... Oh, come on. Do you think that the assassin could have been a normal person? There's only one real possibility in my mind. I've heard that the Fatui... They certainly are... Shh! Lower your voice. If the Fatui...
You know that god from the ocean couldn't have just shown up out of nowhere. I mean, it's been 2,000...
Yes, and to think that this happened...
Say, do you think the person who assassinated our lord...
Now that you mention it, that's very... I mean, it all fits together. That person must have colluded with the evil god to harm Still, what sort of supernatural prowess must this person...
Ah, forget it. Guessing's no use to us. Look, the millilith...
Hear ye all! The Chi sings, though a dragon soars ageless as the mountains, it too, gods and adepti live glorious lives. But both rumors and hearsay abound on the streets, having been thwarted in his trial. Rex Lapis's soul has nor are they to believe street-born rumors or indulge in baseless speculation.
Paimon needs a translation on what the Chising's announcement said. So that's how there's... Something feels off. Why would they suddenly give up looking for the murderer? Not to mention how this... Could the Chising already have known that Rex Lapis wasn't dead? Did Zhongli tell them in secret after his... Exactly, right? Ooh, seems like the rite of parting has been... Look, it's Ningguang and Kuching. Are they saying something? Are their speeches over?
As said previously, Rex Lapis's soul returning to the heavens is the end of the contract. And it is also the end of an era.
3,700 years of contracts burnt and reduced to ash.
We, the people of Liyue, were indeed prosperous. But blinded by our prosperity, we forgot that time can be pitiless.
The long, unending dream of our Archon walking among us.
Now that we have awoken from our dream, we must learn to say farewell. Will you stand with us as we re-establish our contracts? As we build a new age of prosperity?
So concludes the words of Her Eminence the Tianquan.
Does Her Eminence the Yuheng have anything to add?
Huh? Is she looking this way?
Traveler.
Yikes! She really is looking our way!
Is that the traveler who they say defeated the ancient god?
So young.
The Liyue Qixing always repay their debts. And as you have heard, our eyes see far and our reach is long. Name your price. You deserve that much.
Whoa.
Well, could you help me put up some missing person posters?
Perhaps mementos.
But it seems as if those... Well, that's fine.
As for the mortals and...
Hey, Zhongli! Look at this. Everyone in Liyue is caught up in their emotions, thinking that they'll never see Rex Lapis again. And here you are looking all relaxed.
Why would I not feel more at ease after laying down the burden I have borne for 3,700 years? Right. If the two of you can spare the time, I should treat you to a meal at the Signora kiosk.
Ha! That sounds like big talk, Zhongli. Paimon might have believed you if you were treating us to some third-round knockout, but you'd have to pay out your nose just to stand inside Signora kiosk. Are you sure you can afford it?
You're right. I do like the Mora.
But why would Morax lack Mora?
As the Rex Lapis Morax, I can easily create Mora. But since I have chosen to walk this earth as the mortal Zhongli, I should abide by the same rules that mortals do. When I was journeying with you, though I still had the Gnosis in hand, I knew that I must soon retire from my role as an Archon, so I had to rehearse a little for my new life.
Oh, no wonder! Paimon gets it now. You didn't look at the price tags when we were spending because you've never had to. But since you weren't used to not being able to just make more Mora as and when you wanted to, you had to try becoming a parasite to society who lives off of other people's credit.
Well, we were only spending Fatui money. You don't have to say it like that. In the City of Commerce, we do not merely exchange money or goods. We also exchange knowledge, memories, and foresight, as well as positions, roles, and lives. The Archon Morax could never experience life as the true mortal Zhongli could, no matter how many times he descended to be with his people. I must thank you for that. I will treasure the memories that I made as Zhongli, traveling the streets. That is true. But there is no journey that does not end. No meetings without partings.
Paimon thinks that we should make a move and continue our search for the Seven.
I fear that continuing your journey may be difficult. The nation that neighbors Liyue by sea, Inazuma. Yes, the nation has been closed by order of its deity, the Electro-Archon Ball. And just as the people of Liyue preferred to call me Rex Lapis, she too goes by another name among locals in Inazuma.
Paimon thinks we've heard that one before. Raiden?
That is the case. And since Raiden is also the shogun of Inazuma, people call her the Raiden shogun.
That said, though people at the wharf were saying that the situation in Inazuma is very tense, Paimon doesn't remember that always being the case. It wasn't that bad last year. Zhongli, since you're Rex Lapis, shouldn't you know something about what's happening there? Just how did Inazuma become a closed nation?
It's because of visions.
Visions?
When faced with circumstances beyond their control, humans often bemoan their lack of power. But if a person shows true strength of will at a desperate and fateful moment in their life, the gods will look upon them with favor. This is what visions are. Magical foci bestowed upon those who have been acknowledged by the gods.
Uh-huh. That's how people in Teyvat see it.
But starting from last year, the Raiden Shogun began promulgating the Vision Hunt Decree.
Vision Hunt Decree?
Yes. It was an order to seize all visions within Inazuma's borders, and to inlay them upon the hands of the statue of the omnipresent god.
They want to seize visions. But why? Aren't visions blessings from the gods?
I should think that in the Raiden Shogun's eyes, it is precisely because they are divine blessings that they should be under the sole dominion of divinity.
Whoa, that's harsh.
The Animo Archon is the god of freedom, and the Geo Archon is the god of contracts. For her part, the Raiden Shogun is the god of eternity. It seems as though she has finally decided to eliminate any unstable elements that could pose a threat to her eternal realm. The fact that even I, the oldest of the seven, have now passed away, will only strengthen her resolve to pursue eternity. Knowing her, she must have again quoted that adage she is most fond of when proclaiming that decree to her people. 7 ideals for 7 gods. And of these, eternity is nearest unto the heavenly principle. All right then. Was there anything else you wish to know? That said, the reason why the Qixing were so eager to resolve the incident and stop pursuing the culprit was indeed because they received news in secret that Rex Lapis was not dead. I hinted as much to the Adepti as well. How did I accomplish that, you ask? Have you ever heard of this particularly convenient Adepti art known as gifting dreams and visions? All right then. Was there anything? Well then, I suppose you'll have to find a way to get inside.
Ad Astra.
Today's no good for going out. Did I say that yesterday as well?
Hey, who's that skulking around?
All tasks have been handed out.
Adventurer, think you can last a round against me?
Children, come.
Oh, what is it, Granny?
Oh, no. In fact, my old...
A gift? For Paimon?
Oh, child, you are so very When you traversed my old teapot in search of the cleansing bell, I heard your little... That simply won't do. Fortunately, I have not yet grown... Oh, did my friends never mention that to you? Well, then... I will not go into too much detail, but the teapot that you entered previously was a little trinket.
So, in the eyes of an adept...
Oh, indeed, the teapot is nothing to boast of. One such as myself must depart from this realm to create a world of one's own. But that's enough nostalgia for now.
That's right! Finding stuff's what we're...
Oh, settle down now, children. There's no... What's more, I doubt that... Well, for starters, I require... You would have to dig downward, following the roots of... But almost no one has been able to find shimmer soil in this manner, since even more difficult to find is smaragdus jadeite, which must be chiseled from the rock of the chasm. Or so it used to be. In any case, smaragdus jadeite is an adepti treasure, and the adeptal... goodness knows if that's...
Well, since you're an adeptus, Granny...
Yes. I suppose...
She counts? How come there are so many adepti in Liyue Harbor?
Oh, maybe so. Who can say? A fair few...
I'm back, Granny. Oh, I don't believe we've met.
Allow me to do the honors. This child, Yanfei, I believe you already heard of the traveler and his...
Of course, who hasn't? Much has been written about you in the Millilith's records. You became one of Liyue's most wanted after the Millilith marked you as a suspect following the incident at the Rite of Dissension. Before finally defeating an ancient god together with Granny and her associates, and subsequently being cleared of any and all suspicion by the chiefs. A shame that we didn't meet sooner. If we had, well, I can't say that I would have been able to clear you of suspicion. Allow me to introduce myself once more. I'm Yanfei, a legal advisor. Got a legal problem? You can come... Oh, yes, here's my business card. You'll find it has my contact details and office address. If you have an urgent issue, just leave me a note at this address. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention, I offer a very generous discount for first-time customers.
All right, Yanfei, all right. Let's get to the business. You'll have to excuse Yanfei. She's always been like this. Ever the...
Paimon was gonna ask the same question.
An adeptus? I guess. Kinda. My old man said he was one anyway. He mentioned that he once campaigned with Rex Lapis for a long old time, and then after that was all over, he went back and married my mom. They had me, and once I was all grown up, the two of them upped and left on a journey, leaving me with Granny here.
Well, that's a bit casual for an adeptus. Aren't you guys supposed to sign solemn contracts to protect Liyue Harbor and all that stuff? What do you mean he just went back to get married?
Well, my dad did say that he'd talked it through with Rex Lapis and that he was fine with it. Even contributed towards the wedding gift, apparently. Anyway, let's not dwell on that too much. So, Granny, I've gotten a hold of most of the stuff you asked for, except for Smaragdus Jadeite. I couldn't find any at all. The chasm's been sealed off, and there's just no way in. Couldn't secure any documentation either. Looks like the Ministry of Civil Affairs is serious about keeping it strictly locked down.
Is that so? But Smaragdus Jadeite is really rather essential. Yanfei, are you sure you can't find some other way? They have helped Liyue greatly, after all. It is only right that they are duly rewarded.
I know, Granny, you've told me 1,000 times already. Well, the chasm's definitely a no-go, but there's still a chance we can figure out some alternative means of procurement. Hold on a moment. Let me have a look.
Whoa, that's a really thick book. What kind of things do you write in there?
Commercial consultancy. Or Snezhnaya. Ah, found him. Krusel. A Snezhnayan merchant who once came to me with some legal queries on certain articles in the legal codices. If my memory serves, all of them had to do with rare ores. He mentioned that he was considering acquiring some Smaragdus Jadeite to make hairpins, and wanted to know if there were any legal ramifications that he should be aware of. Said he was planning to sell them in Snezhnaya. So, I guess I'll go look for him. With any luck, he'll have gotten his hands on some Smaragdus Jadeite, or might have an idea. Oh, you want to join me? I suppose that's no problem, but it's best if you just stand by and watch. If you try to get involved, you'll only risk placing yourself in legal jeopardy.
Wow, an Adeptus imploring us to avoid incurring legal liability. Well, that's a first for sure. Best we be a little more careful than usual while we're with her.
Hello, Mr. Krusel.
Oh, good, very good. All thanks to your advice, Miss Yanfei.
You're too kind. I was simply doing my job. Now, I believe that the last time we met, you mentioned that you were looking to source some Smaragdus Jadeite to make hairpins. Have there been any further developments on this front?
Well, yes, as a matter of fact, in the end I did acquire a small piece of Smaragdus Jadeite and had it fashioned into a... Miss Yanfei, might I presume that you have an interest in the hairpins? I must apologize, I've already rented them out to a lady named Zhiqiao. If you'd like to inspect them, you may have to wait quite some time.
Wait, isn't Smaragdus Jadeite really rare? Aren't you worried about the hairpins getting damaged or lost while they're being rented out?
No, I'm not worried in the slightest, because I signed a contract with Miss Zhiqiao before renting them to her. The contract makes it quite clear that if she loses or damages the item in question, she must compensate me for its full original value. In return, I included a clause that guarantees the Smaragdus Jadeite is genuine, with a penalty of 10 times the item's value payable by me to Miss Zhiqiao in the event that it is shown to be a fake.
Guaranteed genuine, with 10 times the value payable if this claim is shown to be false. Yes, these terms are very clear indeed.
Of course. This way, both the client and I have the assurance we need. To ensure fairness, each of us has retained an original copy of the contract.
In that case, might you know where Miss Zhiqiao lives? We'd like to pay her a visit and have a look at the hairpins.
Oh, of course. She wrote her address down when we signed our contract. Here, I'll mark it on your map for you.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Krusel. We'll be off now.
Whatever shall I do? Yes, that's me.
How do you do, Monsieur Chow? We understand my associates and I are very interested in them.
The hairpins. I don't know how it could have happened. I always kept them right. I spent so much money on them. If I have to pay their original value... My family is in the ore business too. But we now have a backlog of paid-up orders just sitting around. So we've been having to purchase some stock. A big banquet is coming up in a few days, and several ore merchants I know of will be there. I need this. That's what the hairpins were for, to keep up appearance. But now that I've lost the hairpins...
Why does Paimon have a sudden strong...
Would you really? I sent a commission to the Adventurers Guild, but I haven't heard anything...
Hold on. Don't run off looking for the hairpins just yet. Monsieur...
Huh? Well, I mean,
Let me see.
That's right! Yanfei said she's a legal advisor, didn't she? True. Though surely there must be a way...
Right. I finished reading the contract. The terms are very... Furthermore, the contract also expressly states, and given the rarity of Smaragdus Jadeite, I fear that the final amount of compensation...
Even higher? Oh, no.
Uh-oh. Juchao looks...
However, all of this is assuming that it is indeed...
Did you really have to pause before saying that part? Anyway, the hairpin... Whichever way you look at it, we've got to...
Except that if we found the hairpins, there'd no longer be...
Please. Please, I... Don't... However much it is, I will have to pay it. Now that it's come to this, I really shouldn't keep Crossel in the dark any longer.
Yes, legally speaking, it seems this is the most So hold on a moment, Mr. Chow. When you first touched...
What did I feel? Well, my family has seen much jade pass through its hands.
Smooth to the touch. No, it's nothing. I just need to
Ah, Miss Yanfei, you've returned. You lost them? Are you serious? Do you have any idea how expensive they were?
I'm sorry. Truly I am. I'll pay the compensation as per...
Mora? Do you have any idea what I had to go through to get my hands on that Smaragdus Jadeite? I just don't... Forget it. Talking won't bring them back. Since Miss Yanfei is here, I suppose we can just have her estimate the amount that needs to be paid.
No problem. But before I can give an official estimate, I'll need to do a little market research. Yes, and if I may, it was in fact genuine Smaragdus Jadeite inlaid...
Of course! Genuine article guaranteed, or I pay back 10 times the value.
All right, understood. I'll conduct some market research, and once I'm back, I'll provide an official assessment of the sum owed by Mr. Chow in compensation. Please wait here, Mr. Crossel.
Thank you very much. How could she lose my hair?
Looks like I'll have to find some way.
Please wait, Mr. Chow. I have something to discuss with you. It's not convenient to speak here, so...
You can't beat the atmosphere here.
Miss Yanfei, what is this about? Are you...
No. What I wanted to talk about is, there is a chance that the Orin laid on those hairpins.
What do you mean?
Obviously not. I'm no adventurer, let alone a member of the guild. I don't run thankless. I don't know if Granny told you this, but Smaragdus jadeite is found deep underground and contains very concentrated elemental energy. If mere mortals come into contact with it, well, they'll be sick in the best case. And in the worst case, Monsieur Chow, did you at any time feel
No, not at all. I felt...
Now that is strange. I noticed earlier that there were... If I've deduced correctly, he may still have the Smaragdus jadeite in his possession.
If that's the case, we should go confront him right now and expose...
Absolutely not. If we were to confront him now, there's no way. And then he'd throw the Smaragdus jadeite into the sea the moment we were... After that, he would simply insist that Mr. Chow pay up per the contract. Meanwhile, we would have to look under every stone in Liyue, hoping and praying that the hairpins do...
So vivid that Paimon thinks it might be experience.
Oh, it certainly is. I've seen my fair share of situations like this, and brute force methods are certainly one way of resolving...
Well then, since you're so experienced...
Oh, that won't be a problem. But first, Mr. Chow, can I...
Huh? Does there have to be a contract for everything? It feels like Yanfei is even more concerned with them than...
These are my formal terms of engagement. Everything prior to now has just been pro bono advice. But for me to investigate any work commissioned but not bound by a contract cannot be relied upon.
I understand. Then I will...
No problem. Just sign here, and I'll sign too. Okay. Now, right, and I'll also need your signatures on pages 5, 7, and on the very last page. Finally, if you could just use this ink pad to make a handprint over here.
This contract has so many pages.
All right, that should do it. My fees are the same as always, and they're written in the contract. Have a look through and...
I've had a read through everything.
Well then, here's your copy of the contract. I will retain the other copy. Not for now, no. Despite how intractable this problem might sound, I don't believe you have been part of an investigation like this before.
Miss Yanfei, I have to ask, why are you helping me?
Because, as it happens, I'm currently trying to acquire some Smaragdus jadeite myself. I noticed strong traces of geoenergy around Mr. Crossel, so perhaps he has, in fact, secured some. Whether he actually made it into an item of jewelry or not is a separate matter, but either way, it's a lead. Also, the idea of someone abusing the law to their advantage. But again, let's not dwell on this. Let's go to... I've got it! Let's pay a visit to Chateau, the boss of the gym. If Mr. Crossel had his ore worked on at all, Chateau would undoubtedly...
What should I try this time?
Why, hello there, honored customer. Surely not more spurious claims.
No, nothing of the sort. Has a Snezhnayan merchant named Crossel enlisted your ore
A Snezhnayan merchant. I do remember that. That was the first time I'd ever encountered it, so I had no way of telling if it was really... He was quite generous with his money, too, so I...
Do you have
Why, yes. It was my first time
Thank you, sir. We'll take a look at them.
Try your luck betting on Jade?
Huh? If my eyes don't deceive me, the crop... Yes, it's not particularly rare, nor is it I've heard it said that Smaragdus nephrite is in fact the outer layer of Smaragdus jadeite, though no one's...
A thin layer of separation, huh?
If you must see for yourself, try examining these shavings for traces of elemental...
Is that so? So, did you find anything? So they really are different. But wait, how come
There's nothing special to it. It just so happens that I've come up... These two stones actually look very similar. Someone without a deep understanding... There may be only a subtle difference for the casual view, and, I'm sure, a significant difference in the...
All right, let's focus up. We're going off on a tangent.
But, never mind, Shirto.
Unusual actions have unusual reasons behind them. Let's take some of the...
Miss Yanfei.
If you could just confirm for me once more, sir. Mr. Crossell did indeed claim that the ore he brought...
Yes, that's right. I still have a record of the job with me, in fact. Here.
Then I have no further questions. But could I borrow the process?
Of course.
Oh, I have my reasons. Yes. Please sign here on this affidavit. This document shall serve as signed proof that these stone shavings originated from the...
Yes, I see.
I wouldn't say there's been an incident, just a minor issue. Thank you, sir. I'll take these with me.
With this hard evidence to back us up,
On the contrary, this is far from... If you want to make jewelry, you need a professional jewelsmith. Let me think. Jewelry. Aha! Got it! Singxi. She often helps people to find a jewelsmith.
Well, that was quick. How come you know?
Because lots of people come to me for legal advice. As you know, Liyue Harbor is the city of contracts. But the amendments made by the Tianquan to our laws are unnecessarily complicated. How can I put this? As such, legal advisors like myself provide...
So you help them make sense of the law. But didn't you say that it's...
Yes, well, that's no obstacle, because I've memorized all the legal codices.
You memorized?
You sound surprised. Knowing the law inside out is a legal advisor's bread and butter, you know. Oh, this has nothing to do with being an adeptus. I just like reading things.
Again, with that casual...
Well, that's that then. Let's...
Oh, Miss Yanfei, it's you.
Have no further trouble from then on? Yes, has a merchant by the name of Crossell asked you to put him in
Crossell? Yes, I remember him. The design of the hairpins that he gave me was quite intricate, so it took me some work to... This order was on hold for a very long time.
Doesn't seem like there's any evidence to be found here.
Miss Singxi, I'd like for you to confirm for me once more. When Mr. Crossell commissioned you to find...
Yes, I'm sure of it. The hairpins were made using many expensive materials, and the asking... Mr. Crossell wasn't very familiar with the necessary procedure. I also kept a copy for my own records. See for yourself. The inlaid gemstone is recorded as smaragdus jadeite.
Thank you, Singxi. Now...
Sure. It isn't serving much purpose here anyway.
Nothing you need to worry about. Just a minor issue. I'll return your...
Why is everyone's first reaction always to assume some...
I believe we have almost all the evidence we need. We just need to make one...
The weirdo with the snake around his neck?
Because only he can provide an authoritative statement confirming that smaragdus jadeite is... Once we have this final piece of evidence in our hands...
My, to what do I owe the pleasure? Though I'm afraid that if you're looking for our little Chi-Chi, and if it isn't Miss Yanfei as well, now that's an even rarer honor. What business brings you here, might I inquire?
No. I'm here this time to ask if you're familiar with smaragdus jadeite.
Smaragdus jadeite? Why, yes, there is some information about it included in the 6th commentary on the Seven Mountain Treatises. The Seven Mountain Treatises states that this substance springs forth from stone marrow within the mountains and will bring disaster. It is abundant in elemental energy, so if someone without a vision is in contact with it for a prolonged period, best case scenario, they fall ill. Worst case... Anyway, I'm sure you didn't come all this way just to chit-chat. I suppose that you're about to ask me to write an official affidavit attesting to the pharmacy...
That is indeed the case. If you would be so kind...
No trouble at all. It's just a single document. Won't take me a moment. I would mention, though, that you are. But after I gave him my reply, his expression shifted to one of. I wonder, Miss Yanfei, if you're.
You needn't concern yourself about that, Dr. Baizhu.
You're too kind. Take care now.
That Baizhu guy is as... Is it just Paimon, or does it feel like he was fishing for something back there?
Dr. Baiju's always been like that.
Miss Yanfei, have you finished your investigation? I trust.
Yes, my investigation is indeed concluded.
Wonderful. Well then, please, could you do that?
Of course. Mr. Crossell, you must pay Mr. Chow 10 times the...
Sure. Wait, what? Me pay her?
Not at all. According to my investigations and the material evidence that we've gathered, the substance claimed to be smaragdus jadeite that was inlaid within the smaragdus jadeite twin phoenix pins that you rented out to Mr. Chow was, in fact, smaragdus nephrite. Now, the contract states very clearly that 10 times the price shall be paid should the article not be genuine. Accordingly, you are liable for this sum, which is payable to Mr. Chow in Mora.
Material evidence? What material evidence? Why, Miss Yanfei, you cannot frame me like this. I spent a huge sum to obtain that smaragdus jadeite, and yet you claim that the ore inlaid on the hairpins is somehow fake? I demand to see your evidence.
Indeed. Only a testimony from an expert witness involved. This is a processing record from the Jade Mist.
Seriously? Even the boss there couldn't differentiate between smaragdus jadeite and smaragdus. In any case, smaragdus nephrite is the outer layer of smaragdus jadeite. So I had him cut away the nephrite. He returned the valuable jadeite core to me.
That's an unsubstantiated...
Well, your claim that my ore is fake is just as unsubstantiated. And we are...
Ugh. Looks like our first piece of evidence didn't convince him at all.
Hard evidence. Something legally binding. We have...
This document proves that my hairpins are the real deal, doesn't it? This is the Ministry's seal, after all.
Our second piece of evidence didn't work either. And this guy's...
You know, you could be right. Perhaps the hairpins are the real deal.
Of course I'm right. All the evidence shown supports my story.
Well, hang on a moment now, because Traveler, would you do the honors?
What?
Smaragdus jadeite springs forth from stone marrow within the mountains. Sustained contact with smaragdus jadeite over a prolonged period. Mr. Crossell, were you aware...
I had...
No idea, you say? I'd guessed as much. I'm afraid that this falls outside the scope of my work, but within that of the However, I'm sure that the Ministry will be relatively... Don't worry, Mr. Crossell. I will make sure that all the evidence presented here will... I trust that you'll give them your full cooperation in their investigations.
What? Wait!
Oh, so you knew? Oh, dear, Mr. Crossell.
Huh? No,
Aren't actually inlaid with genuine smaragdus jadeite? Is that... You do understand, Mr. Crossell, that this... Mr. Crossell, your answer, please.
Yanfei's seriously intimidating right now. It's like she...
I admit it. I confess. The ore I had in... But I'm a victim in all of this, too. I invested a great deal of time and... But after receiving it and carrying it around for a few days, I started to feel extreme discomfort. I went to Boo Boo Pharmacy to get myself checked out, only to discover that this sort of stuff... That's why I had another pair of hairpins made from smaragdus nephrite, which is almost indistinguishable from smaragdus jadeite. I kept the real smaragdus jadeite in a specially made box. I daren't. I was worried that someone would see through it, which is why I only dared to rent them out, not sell them. And then to top it all off, Zhiqiao lost the hairpins after I...
Exactly! If they weren't the real deal, why'd you...
I didn't want to either, but when I purchased that smaragdus jadeite, some of my business partners found out. I knew that if word got out that I sold a pair of fake hairpins, then...
All right, let's cut the appeals phase right there. I failed to see what bearing any of this
10 times.
Crossell looks like he could faint any second.
As for me, according to my contract with Mr. Chow, 20% of that sum will go to me.
20%? That's as much as I spent on that smaragdus jadeite.
There's no need. It's fine. You don't have to pay me that much, Mora. Even if the Smaragdus jadeite on those hairpins was fake, I still bear responsibility for losing them. Legal... However, Mr. Crossell, since you have no use for that chunk of Smaragdus jadeite, why don't you give it to me instead? I'll consider us even.
What? But all right then.
Miss Yanfei, I'll turn the Smaragdus jadeite over to you. I trust that it will
Well, that's not quite how the rules say this should go.
Thanks so much for your help this time, Miss Yanfei. When you have the time, I'll be sure to...
Oh, come on. No need to stand on ceremony. Now, if I may confirm...
Well, yes, I believe...
Well then, that's good. Mr. Crossell, it seems that my client has...
Is that so? That's good.
Actually, Mr. Crossell, I'd like to talk business for a second, if I may. I could see from the hairpins you produce that you're very skilled in jewelry design. My family, on the other hand, works in the ore business, and we have a fair stock. If we could join forces, your jewelry designs and our choice ores, I think we could do some fine business.
Let me think.
Well, that's that. And we've got the Smaragdus jadeite that Granny wants too. All's well that ends.
Exactly. Usually when someone tells us they've lost something, we end up searching all over the place for it. But even though the solution
The right solution depends on your perspective on the problem. The objective of my client, Mr. Chow, was to reduce her liability to pay compensation. So, rather than looking high and low for some hairpins, proving that the rented item an Adeptus. Speaking of, you took part in that battle, didn't you? In which case, Liyue Harbor is now a city ruled by humans. The title of Adeptus means precious little to me compared to my job as a legal advisor. In any case, don't you think that the Liyue Harbor of today needs legal consultancy far more than it needs adeptal power?
Paimon can think of someone who would definitely disagree.
Well, since we got what we came for, it's time to pay Granny a visit.
Ah, you've returned. Good, good.
Well, if we're all set, Granny, I'll get going now. Got it.
Oh, you. All right, then. Go
I'm off then. Bye! Oh, yes, Traveler. Make sure you don't... I've been looking into the laws of other nations as well. If you should ever bump into any trouble with the law...
Come now, child. Are you leaving or are you not? If you have no...
I'm leaving! I'm leaving!
That child. Goodness knows where she learned to be so Indeed she is. Liyue's Yanfei might be overly garrulous, but she is also the... Liyue is not the... All right, then. Let us speak of this no...
Oh, Paimon's so excited! How is it made?
It is but a single tea... There we go. This serenity pot is all... Hold it firmly. If you were to drop it, take these blueprints with you as well. You'll need them if you wish to...
Wait a minute, Granny!
Oh, you needn't worry about that. I've already arranged for a certain little...
This is a peaceful...
you buying or not?
Excuse us, we...
A letter? Oh, I see. Oh, don't mind me. I was just
Can he actually read this thing?
Yes, the script is honored guests. You must both be wary from your... Please rest assured that the matter written about has been duly... Please take a seat here in Leo Lee Pavilion, where you may enjoy some light
Yay! Tasty snack!
Of course. We treat visitors with the utmost respect here at the Feiyun Commerce. Please, this way.
And Paimon thought we'd get kicked. Paimon didn't think Guhua...
Thank you for your patience. With the amount of wealth and power Gentry Mount Sai has, it will take more than a slap on for him to correct the error of his ways. He must feel for himself, since Gentry Mount Sai's business has to deprived of the necessary raw material.
Great idea! That'll be sure to mess things... But Liu is huge.
With the timescale we are on, it is indeed a First, there are a number of There is also some unsold core lapis at the Finally, there is Chang the Ninth.
Alrighty, so 3 sellers in the city.
Of course. We are not expecting...
Wow! So many more! With...
Well, this is not... All you need to do is strike a deal. The Feiyun Commerce Guild will handle the transportation. Once you have purchased all the core lapis, please proceed...
Gotta hand it to Guhua Geek. This is some seriously
Good day, my friend. Oh, I thought you... No, that I still... Too much hassle, not enough return. What? No, all right. Clearly no short...
You can't beat the atmosphere here.
Oi! Shh! All of it? All of it would be far... Feiyun, if it's for the...
Hi, anything? You want... Well, that's sad. None are... Oh, it's for the... Don't worry about my prior client. Thank you for your patronage.
Thank you so very much.
Place to go for classic
around it. Paimon can't do that! Still, why is it... Oh, wait a sec. Wow, it's a huge finch! Excuse me, I am not a... hang on. Oh, call me. So you're the little help... Madam Ping? Oh, you may leave all matters... Your journey may be far... Though it is the Adepta... Thus, we teapot spirits were created... You may consider me... Now, allow me to... Have you any blueprints on you? As long as you have a blueprint... Blueprints? Yes, these are the... Just commit the... Then simply... Wow! Is that all it takes? Then... We could build a whole city. I doubt it. He said that this world is not a golden-eyed adeptus. I hardly remember myself. Well, let's not... If there's any... Maybe you're... If you ever have it... Maybe you're... If you ever...
It's nearly time for afternoon tea.